Good evening, everyone. My name is Kamajai. I'm the coordinator of the American Corner Kostanay, and I am the host of today's meeting. So thank you for joining us. I'm happy to introduce to you our guests. Today we have our speaker, Ulbulsun Parmanova and Asya Suleimanova. So Ulbulsun is majored in Kazakh language and literature and subsequently studied linguistics in the master program at Al-Farabi Kazakh National University. Currently, she's a second year of MA student at the University of Kimet, earning an MA in TESOL. So she's spending the 2020-2021 academic year at the UGA as a Fulbright foreign language teacher assistant, social linguistics, language teaching, and educational as the fields that make her academic life brighter. So also here, Asiyat Suleimanova from US Embassy in Sultan's Cultural Affairs Assistant on Fulbright program opportunities, and Asiyat answers your questions about the program. So language today is English. This meeting is recording, so please turn off your microphones also. You may ask your questions at the end of the presentation or write them on the chat box. So we will try to answer all of them. And now, please, all of you, do not interrupt the speaker, and all your questions will answer after the presentation. So now I give the floor to Olbulsun.
Mojai, so I can share my slides. So basically, today I'm going to be focusing on how to help Americans study Kazakh, basically, and I'll give you some advice. So my name is Olbulsun Parmanova. I majored in Kazakh language and literature, and I studied linguistics at Kazakh National University, Al-Farabi Kazakh National University. Then I actually made this journey a long time ago. I mean, I was preparing for this journey 3 years ago. How did when I read the application system and all requirements, there was a line which says, you should be majored, or you should be majored or like studied English as a foreign language to apply for this program. So I decided to apply for a program at the KIMEP University, which is MA in TESOL. So I actually studied MA in TESOL to make this happen, to get this grant. So my second MA degree is about teaching English and teaching English as a foreign language. So it helped me a lot. Yeah, but basically I am in Georgia state. It's a state located in the south of United States, and I currently working for University of Georgia. It's a public school, public university. It's ranked 11th place among the public universities in the United States. So I had two choices to go. First was Indiana University, I guess, and the second was Georgia University. So I'm glad I'm here, and I thought Kazakh here. So basically, as I'm a Kazakh teacher, I prepared for this program long ago, and I had a plan, I had a program with me, and basically the university started teaching Kazakh for Americans this year. So yeah, so I taught Kazakh from the second semester, but before I was yeah, they offered me a tutoring of Russian, so I did 2 languages. So let's begin with some advice. So my first advice is, please revise your knowledge of Kazakh before coming to the United States. And how you would ask, just know overall things about Kazakh. Is it a Turkic language? If So what's the specifics of Turkic languages? How can you teach it? These kind of things will be very helpful. For example, in Kazakh, we have a vowel harmony, but like at school, we would learn that we had a vowel harmony, but also we have a consonant harmony. So you have to be aware of those, specific knowledge of Kazakh to teach Kazakh. Okay. My second advice is think about how and in what order you'll give your materials to teach. For example, if you start teaching like менің атым болсын, мен 28 жастамын, and мен Алматыданмын, this kind of things, before teaching sounds would be a mistake. So please revise the order. So what is first, what is second, what is third, what should be taught after these things, for example, right? And some people can, start teaching Kazakh with numbers and with nouns. Don't do that. I would recommend to, block your program into topics, so it will be more communicative approach than a technical or a grammar. My third advice is record some short videos before you came to the US, because these short videos will be helpful for audio-visual aid, we call it in linguistics. So you'll be giving them not your voice and not your face, but like different people from Kazakhstan speaking Kazakh, for example, alphabet, greetings in Kazakh. So make sure that you have like small shorts to teach some, communication stuff. For example, learn, for example, how to like organize these things, because what I did is I searched from YouTube and tried to like cut those parts. For example, if you teaching greetings in Kazakh, I was be able to cut them and give them in portions. So please make sure that you have a some bank of video recordings, audio recordings, for example, alphabet, right? So, but make sure that your video recordings and audio recordings are in a public domain, because otherwise you cannot use, and you like cite those people, the authors. Otherwise it will be a like plagiarism. So make sure that you have maybe your own um, or something from YouTube. It will help a lot. My fourth advice is please set the goal. And as we know, every lesson, every class should have a goal. So please make it short and concise and also practical. So what do I mean here when I say concise or practical? For example, let's consider these two goals. Let's say we have to teach this example, this kind of communicational set. Менің атым болсын, менің ата-анам бар, right? What you should do for this task is probably to teach everything. For example, so your goal is at the end of this class, you'll be able to express how to say your name and your family member's name in Kazakh, right? For this goal, particularly, you should teach declension of nouns, right? Possessive pronouns, family vocabulary, ana, ki, etc. You'll be teaching the verb bar, right, to have. And let's consider the second example, which says, менің атым болсын, мен 25 жастамын, right? And think about what you have to teach for this goal. What do you think? Any volunteers? Any volunteers? What should be taught in this example?
Dear participants, if you want to answer the question and
Yeah,
be active, just raise your virtual hand and I will turn on your microphones.
yeah, or type in the chat. So basically you have to teach declension of nouns, right? And you have to teach possessive nouns. You also have to teach for this topic your the personal nouns and personal endings, right? Because the personal nouns have personal endings in Kazakh, and you cannot omit them. Even though you can omit the pronoun, you cannot omit the personal endings, right? So you have to be teaching like those two, and family vocabulary, ras, and numbers. And tell me, please, what goal is more realistic, concise, and practical in this term, in this case? The first goal or the second goal? So let's consider this. Think about it, please.
Numbers.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry, Sedapai?
Numbers.
Yeah, the number. Which goal, the first goal or the second goal, is more realistic to teach? For example, here you will be covering 4 kind of categories, right? Some grammar and some a little vocabulary, small vocabulary. But for the second goal, you have to teach numbers, and it's long, right? Numbers are the whole one topic. You have to also focus on personal pronouns, and you have to also focus on possessive pronouns, declensions of nouns. And even though there is no like vocabulary to teach, basically, but you have a lot of grammar stuff, so it's not very helpful to have like different grammars in one particular class. If you have, for example, 50 minutes class, it's not practical at all. You cannot make it, right? So please think about it. Your decision will depend on your goals and the goal of the lesson. So remember that every lesson will and should have a goal and proper timing. Design practical and valid tasks and activities. So what I mean here, what is practical task and what is valid task and activities. If you think you know this answer, what is practical task and what is a valid task, please type in the chat and I will be explaining it. So what is practical? Practical task should be very short. Like you shouldn't spend too much time for designing, for organizing this task. Should be practical for you and for your students. So if you start designing some exercise and it takes too long, leave it. It's not gonna work. So please try to make sure that you have a time for this task and you have a and your students will have a time to accomplish this task. And also it it's about homeworks, right? You cannot give them like 3 pages of homework because it's not practical. It takes too much time, right? And also it can be discourage your students to learn Kazakh as well, because it's not practical, it's too much, right? And what is valid task? Valid task is your students should be able to use those vocabulary you teach, the material you teach in real life situations. For example, let's consider these examples like Yirtoqom, Kukek, right? It's the old name of April. Bastangla, which is type of party, like old party, right? Especially youth party. Karas, for example, type of measurement, right? Would you choose those vocabulary to teach Americans to learn Kazakh? Would it be valid and would it be helpful to use in real life situations. And do we, like Kazakh natives, use those vocabulary in our like life, daily basis life? Of course not, right? So don't spend time and don't spend effort to make sure that they have like everything, they can understand everything in Kazakh. And yeah, please teach them that vocabulary, that like valid tasks and vocabulary that they will use in real life situations. That's my advice number 5. Let's move on to advice number 6. So learn some professional lexicon and terms. For example, these words like stem, ending, voiced consonants, voiceless consonants, sonorants, declension or conjugation, vowel harmony, right? And what do you think why you should learn this professional lexicon? We got 36 people and chat. Sorry, I couldn't find information. Yeah, Aseta Pai, I taught Kazakh to beginners. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So why you should learn this lexicon, guys? I've got one answer in the chat. Let's see. To be able to explain the rules. Good. Nurgul Apilova raised hand. I think I can ask to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm from Atrao, and I want to participate in this project. I want to try. I think we need know about all rules in Kazakh language in order to explain how to pronounce Kazakh words, or in order to make sentences in correct order. And if you know one language well, very well, you can. It's easy for to explain another language, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the students basically, yeah, we've got another answer. Ainur Abdiyeva. You can unmute yourself, Ainur. I can hear you.
Oh, great. So I think you need to know all these terms, because usually when you speak the language, especially if it's your mother tongue, you don't pay attention to rules. You speak it the way you usually do. And it's important to know these terms to be able to explain it to other people who are non-native speakers. So I think it's like the foundation of proper English, proper language teaching. So,
you are absolutely right. And also you have to be able to answer these questions. For example, your students will ask you like, what's the declension, or like how the vowel harmony works in Kazakh, right? So you should be able to explain what is like first, what is vowel harmony and how it works, right? And you will be using these specific terms because you're language learners, they are already aware of those terms because they before the Kazakh class, they've learned Russian, they've learned Spanish, they have learned Arabic, they have learned many other languages, right? So they are already aware of those terms, and you should be aware of those terms as well, to be like to make proper conversation, to make sure that they understand what they're talking about, right? Cool. Great answers. Thank you, guys. let's move on. Yeah, my next advice, I think, is the last one. I'm not sure. So please don't forget the level of your students, right? Don't mix up the levels. So you are teaching beginning Kazakh. If you're starting teaching beginning Kazakh, that you have to be you have to be you have to have a proper plan, because the beginning level is it's fixed level, right? You should like have a good order of essential things, like don't miss phonetic, don't miss vowel harmony thing, and don't miss the consonant harmony thing, right? So yeah, you cannot teach everything in Kazakh in one semester or two. So please try to focus on a plan. And yeah, please remember that your students have a level which is pretty like regular, and it has its own goals. I hope you'll have a like good coordinators to work with. And yeah. Advice number 8. Yeah, this is very. This might sound very basic and like easy, but contributing as a cultural ambassador is key thing in Fulbright, because Fulbright foreign language teaching assistants, they are not just a teachers of Kazakh, they also a cultural ambassadors of Kazakhstan. So please consider this part and think about how would you integrate those cultural things, historical things to your lessons, right? And what I did for this semester, um, I found many like big dates, like historical events that happened in the past, and integrated to the particular lesson. For example, today, 40 years ago, the Baikonur, space station was built, for example, right? So I would I started basically from the historical event, or from the like big events in Kazakh culture, art, history, and social, some kind of things. And also this year was very tough to teach students culturally, because it was a pandemic year, but still you have a room to think about it, and you can still do like some integrations from the past. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, actually add some cultural topics, historical events, cultural and sport topics. Tell them about Kazakh diplomacy and politics, relationship with neighbors. You can teach everything actually. So you will not have a different separated class of culture, but you should integrate some parts of culture, history, politics to your class. Like make it very short, but make it memorable. Okay. I think that's it for today. If you have any questions, you can write me here. I'll leave them with my email in the chat. So if you have any questions so far, you can ask me now. But if you have like specific questions and long questions, please write me here. I have finished.
So dear participants, so you have many more questions about this program. So feel free to write it on the chat box. Also, you can raise your hand virtual as you did it before and unmute yourself.
Can I ask a question, please? So, could you share us how to apply to this program and how to feel and how to write essays for this program?
So you're asking my personal experience on that? Actually, all essays and all application, questions should be honest. I think the first rule is be honest, be you, and try to express your goals and try to express yourself, right? So don't cheat, don't copy other applicants' essays. Please be honest and try to organize it in a good, sections, paragraphs, so reader could read and understand what you have written. So the first rule is like, just be honest, right? And know what are you going to do and what's the end goal of this? How would you contribute as a cultural ambassador, and what benefits you will give to this program? And it's pretty, basic, every application has the same, requirements. How would you contribute to this program? What are the benefits of this program? How this program help you or like your future teaching? Yeah.
Okay, there is a rising hand, Jana Karamsakova. So please, you can ask your question.
You can unmute yourself, Жанна.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is, deadline is like 22nd of June, like this for this program, and like when we can know, like when we will, like how to ask. This program for 22nd, yes, like 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
Now you can apply for 2022, 2023 academic year.
22, 23. Yeah.
Ainur has asked this question: did the university help with the organizational matters such as finding and accommodation? Yes. The answer is yes. You'll have a coordinator here. You have a Asiata Pai in Kazakhstan, and you'll have a one coordinator here at the university. So this coordinator will be in a close contact with you and try to help about your housing and about, you will have a person who will guide you in this country, especially at the university. So yeah, there is a position for the like people who do these things. Yeah. Also, you can explore by yourself before you're coming. You can also, actually, I'm sure they will contact you before, after the nomination, I guess. I'm not sure, I'm not aware of the dates, but they will contact you about the program, that they will congratulate you. You got the stipend, and please consider this and this. Actually, it will be a lot of paperwork. Be prepared to work and to write, to do paperwork. So yeah, yeah, you will be informed, Ainur.
So here also was question from Ajar. What types of games or technologies did you use?
Okay. I used basically, you shouldn't be using technology for the sake of using technology, right? You should be using technology on purpose. If you have no purpose to use technology, then don't use it, right? Don't mix up everything. Like the goal is not using technology. The goal is giving information that technology might help, right? So I've used basically for the assessments, I used Google Forms because I love those forms, and it's easy to check all homeworks in Google Forms, and if you consider it as a technology. And also I've played some games like Kahoot, right? Very basic. And also I've had this kind of, we had all lessons in Zoom. So on Zoom, you have a section called polls. So I made some polls on Zoom. And also we had like several, I think 3 in-person meetings, and I made some games with the pictures. And also I cooked some baursak and some dishes for them, mainly baursak, to entertain. Yeah. Other questions here?
Kamajai, excuse me, can you turn on the microphone of Asiyat Nurtaevna?
It's already
Because-
unmuted.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. If you have more questions, I will be happy to help Ulbasan to answer these questions. Well, as far as you understood from Ulbasan's presentation, Fulbright FLTA participants have multiple roles. One role is to teach English, to teach Kazakh. Another role, and not only in different settings, not only in the classroom, but also outside to work with broader audiences like high school kids, maybe university faculty and broader audiences, and also be a cultural ambassador. It's a very important role. So that's why Ulbasan was focusing on teaching, but also on your role as a cultural ambassador. But there is another role that Ulbasan didn't mention. It's you will be a student as well. You will be taking classes. And that's why I ask a question. If you, Ulbasan, took classes, please, if you took them, please kind of give the titles, names of these classes, and whether you took them for credits or just auditing.
That's the great part. Thank you, Asieta. Actually, you have several roles. So cultural ambassador, teacher, and the student as well. So as a student, I took 5 classes, 5 courses for the whole year. Actually, you are mandatory, like they will, basically give you a choice. Like you have to first at the first year you have to study the culture, like American culture, or like any subject that is somehow linked to the culture and history, American history. So I took culture in language classrooms, and I took also reading. There was a like Untitled reading class where you can teach or learn how to make reading tasks. And in the second semester, I took generative syntax. The second course was methods in quantitative methods in linguistics, and the third was finite state linguistics. So basically, I took like 4 classes in linguistics and 1 mandatory class in culture. Yeah, and I took it for audit. UGA doesn't give a credit, like don't give a credit to classes. You'll be auditing. Auditing means you'll not, you shouldn't like do any homework. You just be in class and audit it and listen it. Yeah, but some professors in some courses could require like homework. For example, in my case, my finite state linguistics course required me to do every single, you know, let's say homework assignments, and still you're not getting a credit, but you'll give it's a good opportunity to learn and be in this academic, you know, life as a fully like involved student. So it helps a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. So there is a question,
Yeah.
I guess, for
Question
Asiat.
this year was, can I chime in? This year was very unusual, pandemic year, as you call it, but still there were chances for you to kind of get yourself familiarized with American culture, which has so many faces. And did you have a chance to travel to visit other states? No?
No, unfortunately not. So I got vaccinated like 1 month ago. And before that, like South was open, but it's not that open. Like every, like stores will be open, but not for traveling. So I couldn't have a chance to travel to different, but I was in Atlanta. It's a big city near the Athens. I made like one trip, a small trip to the countryside, and that's it. Like I went to places in the United States. Yeah, basically it's a tough year, and you cannot blame anyone for this thing because it happened. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should.
Hopefully the upcoming year will be better.
Yeah,
And our new participants will be able to kind of fully experience American culture.
right.
Go to different states, communicate with people in person, not virtual, not over computer.
Right, will be great. Apply
If
for
you
this.
have more questions, please ask, because I'm the program coordinator and can answer your questions. If you have the questions about application process.
Yeah, Asiat, there was a question, what kind of documents I must have to take part in this program?
Okay. You know, we have a program announcement on the embassy website, and I should say that, well, you should consult that program announcement. And this program application package is not long, it's not complicated, it's very simple. So you have to concentrate on writing essays. It's a number of short essays that make your application. And that is, essays are the most important part of your application package. You also have to upload your copies of your diplomas and transcripts, notarized copies of your diplomas, and upload into your application. You have to do present all diplomas and transcript from all institutions you attended, from confirming all degrees that you have. If you have master's degrees, yes, a degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, yes. There's no choice. I want to present this and kind of not to present that. That would be wrong if you don't present one of your credentials. Another thing, you have to provide 3 reference letters from your supervisors, or from your university instructors, or from your senior colleagues. Well, most all of you are English language teachers, and you interact with other English language teachers, English teaching professionals. So it's not a problem to have this recommendation letters in English. You just have to do it, and it should be done online. You have to register your recommenders and hit the button, and then the system generate a message to your recommenders, and they will do the recommendation letters, and it will get straight to your application. That's it. Not too many paperwork for the application. One thing about your English language standardized tests, it's a must, it's a requirement, but you don't have to take the test before the application deadline, and even not soon after. Only the program gives you a chance to take the English language test, it's TOEFL, for free. Nominated candidates can will get TOEFL vouchers from us, from the embassy, and will take the test for free, register and take the test for free. Sometimes if the applicants have low, not enough test scores, they will get the second voucher and retake the test again. So you shouldn't worry about it. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't get prepared for the test. The earlier you start getting prepared for the test, the better. But officially, you can take the test only when the interviews are over and the names of nominated candidates are known, and those nominated candidates will get TOEFL vouchers from us. Okay, other questions?
Ajar, you can mute yourself.
Please, Ajar.
Okay, thank you. Olgosan, thank you for your presentation. Also, Asiatapai, good evening. So I have many questions for you, both of you. So my first question, how many years should be studied on FLTA program? For example, Olgosan, 1 year or 2 years? And next, my question, how many hours of Kazakh language do you teach? Or are you teaching there? Yes. And also about application, I see it apply about proposers, recommendатели, да? Can proposers not mention about the profession or university? Because even I don't know exactly to what college or university I want to go. So can they just write a recommendation letter for me in general that I was to study there, and so in general that I have studied well there here in Kazakhstan, and I'm very active and etc.
Ulbasan, will you try to answer this question? I didn't hear it quite well.
Yeah, the first question was about teaching Kazakh and how many years you'll be in the program. Actually, it's two semesters. Basically, I think it's about 10 months program, and I had 2 credit course, two credits course. It means that I had to teach 2 hours a week, and yeah. And also I was teaching for the Russian program. There is a Russian flagship program, so they offered me to teach Russian, like to tutoring Russian. So I had a pretty load. Actually, you shouldn't be working beyond 20 hours a week. So my workload was about 16-17 hours a week. So besides that, you also have to have time for preparation and for grading, for checking, etc. So it will be counted. Like, even though I taught 2 hours a week, I had to spend like 4 hours for each day, basically, to teach. It includes grading, checking, marking, preparing some tasks. Yeah. So it's a 1 year.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I will try to answer your question. The timeline is that, you know, we'll have deadline on June 22nd. And after that, we'll start selection process. It includes few phases. The first one, the first step is technical review. I will work on your applications to see if they comply with the formal eligibility requirements. Then after that, we will, an independent commission will read your applications, and then we will compile a short list of candidates to be invited to the selection interview. And the interview will be, it's a short list, and we will be having like 10 people invited, the best candidates who have best applications. And so that's why you should understand how important the essays are, because, well, it doesn't make, you know, it won't be most important significant thing if you if you have master's degree and so on and so forth. What matters, what you say in your essays. That's the main thing. So shortlisted candidates are invited to the selection interviews, and after that, we select very short number of candidates, those who will be nominated, like 5, maybe fewer than that. And these people will take TOEFL, and we selection committee will prepare the selection committee nomination reviews and put everything in order, check if your applications have all necessary components. And then by the application deadline, which is not for you, which is for the embassy, for the selection committees, which is October 1st, we will send all applications of the selected nominated candidates to Washington, D.C. and IIE in New York City. After that, there will be a long waiting period for you, and the finalists will be notified. We will know about finalists probably in end of March, early April. Yeah. And not many candidates will be selected. Why? Because, as you know, the interest for the Kazakh language is not as huge as the interest for the English language. Very few American universities want to have, you know, want to offer classes of Kazakh on their campuses. Well, right now, well, as far as I know, it's very few, like 3-4 universities. And because of the COVID, not every university of those who are interested can afford. We had last year and a few years before, University of California at Santa Barbara accepting our finalists, but now they dropped because of the COVID. So we are not sending this year anyone to University of California. And then we'll start working on other things like collecting all documents for contracts, for terms of appointments, medical forms, and so on and so forth. So, and our finalists will go to the US maybe mid-August or maybe earlier, depends on the institution. But in normal years, without COVID, they go earlier for the like gateway orientation. And the gateway orientation is conducted at one university or few universities around the country. And it could be like 2 weeks ahead, and after that, or 1 week ahead, after that, fellows will go to their universities. Well, we hope that 22nd academic year will go back to normal and everything will be the way I tell you now. That's it. Thank you. More questions? Well, here among attendees of the today's session, I see the names of the people who actually are applying for this program. I send the invitations based on your, whether you're applying or regardless of your status, either you have already submitted your application or your applications are in progress. And I encourage, because the deadline is coming very soon on the 22nd, kind of concentrate on your application. Make sure you submit the applications, because it's a wonderful opportunity. And everyone, Ulbasin and other our alumni, they think that it was their participation in the Fulbright FLTA program was a turning point in every possible sense in their life, in professional, language enhancement, personal, everything. This program will work for you many, many years after you return back from the US.
So Ajar wants to ask question.
Asiatapai, can you hear me? Asiatapai? Asiatapai, I want to ask about writing a recommendation letter and motivation letter. In these letters, can we don't mention about the university or specialty that I will study, for example, at a master's degree, or about on the FLTA, but not mention the university. But I don't know, because I don't know about the university. So just in general to write.
I'm very sorry, but the sound is not strong enough. If someone will tell me if you hear. Ulbasin, can you just repeat what was?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you, actually. Are you talking about FLTA program or for Fulbright Master's program? Because they are different.
If about FLTA program, just in writing motivation letter or recommendation letter, don't mention about universities or colleges.
Yeah, that's true. Right. There is a thing that in your application, I'm still not sure what your question was about.
Yes,
so
that's right.
In your reference letter or in your essays, don't mention the name of university that you will go, because at this point you don't know.
Yes.
Even if in your let's say Fulbright foreign student program for master's degree, even if you can mention 3 universities that you ideally want to go to, but there is no guarantee that you will get to one of those universities. And don't tie your application, your essay, to one specific university, because your dossier will be sent to 5, 6 universities, and specific people at a department will read your application, and if they see name of a different institution, they will feel like uncomfortable, sort of offended, and say, okay, she wants to go to Columbia, I am not going to read, and just throw away your application, say, no, we're not. So, and then you will be, rejected. There's few universities, but there is no chance, there is no guarantee that you will get to the university that you indicated in your application. There is an item that you should mention, but even there is a fewer chance that you will get to any of those 3 institutions.
Also, Asiatapai, one more question. It's the last question. Also, can we mention several professions? For example, for the master's degree, yes. For example, similar specialties like pedagogy and psychology,
No.
management?
No. You can apply just for one major. One major. You cannot mention even two majors. You cannot. You're applying for one specific major, one specific specialty.
Okay.
If you mention few, you will be disqualified.
Okay, it's clear. Thank you very much.
So there is a question in the chat box. So the question is it required to receive recommendation letters from only 3 people, or can there be more of them?
To see, I don't understand what
Is
yeah,
it
the requirement is 3 reference letters for Fulbright FLTA program. Who should write? So it could be your colleagues, professional colleagues in your workplace. For instance, your university that you work for, a department, or at your school that you work, or you can ask if you keep good relationships with your former university instructors, those people can write for you. Or for instance, your previous work. So those should be professional contacts that you as a professional, English teaching professional. Or maybe you worked as, let's say, at non-governmental organizations. That also can be a good person to write a reference letter for you. If it's related, let's say you taught English for free or did something courses for free for disabled kids or something like this.
So, okay, there's Ainur. She wants to ask question. Please unmute yourself. Ainur.
Thank you so much. I have several questions on the application process. So I was wondering, I've seen the section in the application platform about the preferences in terms of the area where you would like to go. So I was wondering, is it okay to put like a preference, or is it better to put like I'm okay with any choices? I don't really want to come across as picky. So I thought, would it affect the decision in any way, or it doesn't matter? So thank you.
I think Ulbasan can answer better. I think you shouldn't restrict yourself to one type of institutions.
Yeah, you should just,
or
don't mention
geographical area.
Yeah, don't restrict yourself.
We don't have big choice. It's very few universities in the US.
1 or 2, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, not that many.
Yeah.
And another question I have concerns the email address, because I've seen that the recommenders are required to write from their corporate emails. But unfortunately, one of my teachers, she's a very good professor. She knows me very well. And at the moment, she's not employed, and hence she doesn't have.
You can use her personal email.
Okay, so it wouldn't be a problem, right?
No, you won't be. It won't be detrimental for you.
Thank you. And the very last question, I hope, on the application platform, I was filling in the section about my education. And since my degree, the bachelor degree is in education, I have a BEd degree, but I couldn't find the BEd qualification on the list. So should I indicate BA, or there weren't even an option of other, so I don't know what to do with my degree, to be honest.
Bachelor, what was your qualification?
Bachelor of Education, so BEd.
BE.
I think it should be somewhere.
Oh, I made sure I looked several times.
Well, there is an option, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. You can write bachelor's not specified.
I'll double check, thank you. But as far as I remember, I couldn't find it, but I'll check.
I'll look it up again.
Thank you.
But bachelor's not specified.
Thank you for the replies.
Okay, thank you everyone for your questions. Ulbosun, thank you very much for your time and for sharing your experience about this program. It was very informative. Okay, guys, I think that Asiat, you can, if there is any more questions, I think that Asiat could answer all of it. So,
Are they asking about age limit?
Well, do we have time to answer this question?
yes, if the speaker Ulbosun has
Okay.
time, okay,
Yeah, let me
it's okay.
answer this question. This is a very tricky question. The thing is that the requirement is that applicants should not have more than 7-9 years of professional experience after graduating the university. If you have 20 years of professional experience, or you have 15 or 12, then you are not highest priority, then you are not qualified, maybe even, because the types of activities fellows do would require younger people in terms of they would live in a dormitory. Well, right now, Ulbasin is sitting in a dormitory and sometimes even have to share a room with someone else. And also, please understand that this is the only program that does not allow family members to accompany fellows to the US. Even, well, this year we had a problem when a finalist, FLTA finalist, she has a 2-year-old son, and she declined the award because she was not allowed to take the child to the US, and she cannot leave her child behind. So people, we don't have kind of clear age limits, like 30 years. We do not discriminate against the age, but this program kind of is about the types of activities that are better done by younger people.
Okay,
Not
Asiat.
university professors, not people very respected, like senior professionals. No, it's younger who are mobile, who can work through nights and days and run from this activity to another activity and so on.
Okay, Siat, thank you for asking this question. So we do not have any more time. So
Yes,
thank you
sure.
everyone who joined us today. Also, we are very grateful for Ulbosun who shared her time with us. So now if you have any more questions, you can ask it. For example, you can follow our pages on the Instagram. I will share it in the chat box so you can connect us there. Also, I shared you with the page of the US Embassy website. You can find more information there. And you can see this recording video in the Kazakhstan American Corners YouTube channel. Okay.
My only recommendation is apply for this program, try your best, and please learn more because it gives a lot, actually. Yeah, it's a life-changing opportunity. You'll not get a certificate or diploma. Probably at the end you'll give a maybe, I think Ted told us to give
certificate of participation.
Right, but it will be a digital one, right?
Yeah, certificate. You will get not a diploma.
Yeah, it's non-degree program, but you'll get a lot, a lot. So it's not about just a certificate or something. It's a life-changing experience for you. You'll see how US universities, they are best universities, will work and how it's settled. You'll be gain those knowledge and you will be immersed in Kazakhstan, right? And to make Kazakhstani academic better, more professional, more academic. So please take this chance, try your best, and apply for the program. And I know some people who applied 3 times. They were rejected 2 times before. For example, the FLTA from Tajikistan, I guess, she applied 3 times, and she got this stipend.
3rd time.
3rd time, yeah. So please don't be discouraged about, the rejections, but you'll get someday if you want. Yeah, make a plan and get it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Asiata. You actually, we're lucky for, like, I compare, with the different countries, and we have a best coordinator in Kazakhstan,
Oh
which
my
is
goodness.
Asiata,
Thank you.
right? Because like some FLTAs, they share their experience, right? So they're talking about their coordinators, their like, diplomacy services, and we have a best one. So please,
Thank you. Okay.
don't be worried about,
We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be worried about the whole process. You'll get a help from Asiata Pai, from the embassy. So thank you, Asiata Pai. Thank you so much.
So, okay, if there is no questions, we will end our today's meeting. Thank you everyone who joined us. See you soon and stay healthy.
Bye.
Bye.